Hey guys, Manchester City have just lost, unfortunately, to PSG 2-0 in the Champions League. It was a weird night of football. One of those nights, if I'm being totally honest, my immediate emotional reaction to this game is not to panic. That's what I will say. It didn't really feel like a bad performance. It didn't, and I'm not just saying that to be overly positive or happy clapper or anything like that. It didn't feel like a 2-0 loss in the sense that I don't think we played poorly. I don't think we were battered or outclassed or anything like that. It was just one of those days where I feel like if the context around the game had been a little bit different, then maybe, absolutely maybe, things would have been a little bit different on the night. But overall, this was a performance where PSG sort of had a little bit too much quality. I would implore too much quality in front of goal, whereas we probably didn't. I mean, it's weird coming off a result like that where it's 2-0, and yet we were just probably the better side. I don't think that's even a controversial thing to say, really. I'm not trying to be salty or anything like that. It's just City pretty much had most of the ball. Yeah, pretty much had all the main chances. A scrappy goal for them early on gave them the impetus, and then obviously a moment of ridiculous magic where we looked a little bit leggy as we tracked back Messi. But of course, Messi scored his first goal for PSG against Man City, and of course, it was a wonder finish after our pretty poor attempts of putting the ball in the back of the net ourselves. Sometimes you have nights like that. Sometimes you have nights like that. Don't disagree often, team, but PSG were far better, and we were very subpar. Says what went wrong. I don't get how you can turn around and say PSG were far better. Like, in what sense, other than just finishing with those two chances? How could you? We must have watched a different game, mate. If you can honestly, hand on heart, say PSG were far better than Man City tonight, then you must only focus on chances. And in that case, fair enough, man. But there was only one team controlling the game tonight. It was Man City. We didn't play well in front of goal, but overall, City was still the sense. In a tactical sense, what went wrong? If you mean their tactics were hope Man City missed some sitters, then if that's their tactics and it worked, fair play to them. But that's, to me, is not tactics. That's getting lucky that we missed a sitter from a yard out on goal, and that goes in. Their tactics was hope for the best and Messi will do something special, and Messi did do something special. They just sat back in their shape, and they didn't really do anything other than concede the odd chance. We didn't put them away, but that was it. But either way, I said in my preview that I felt that this game wasn't crucial. I felt like this game wasn't really important to the team. And I maintain that this game was always the game after the Chelsea game and the game before the Liverpool game. That is where my head's at with this. It was frustrating. Of course it's frustrating when we lose. But in general, look, if we beat Liverpool, I couldn't care less. If we get a point against Liverpool, I couldn't care less about this PSG game. This game absolutely means nothing in the context of the Champions League. I genuinely mean that. What's going to happen to me is that I think we'll beat Club Brugge probably twice, probably beat Leipzig. We might even get something at home against PSG. And in that instance, what really changes? We might even end up finishing above PSG anyway in the group still. So even though it's frustrating on the night, ultimately, this is one game in the middle of the two more important games. You want to win every single game. Of course you do. And I think Guardiola wanted to win tonight, if I'm being honest. I can sense that because he did play a pretty strong team, but it didn't happen. I don't think it was through a lack of effort. That's what I will say. I don't think it was through a lack of trying or lack of control or anything like that. A little bit sloppy with the early goal, unfortunately, but we certainly controlled the game, generally. They were better in finishing in front of goal. I can't deny that, unfortunately. Thank you so much for the super chat from the Dragon of Ichigo. What a name. Dragon of Ichigo says, I definitely think individual brilliance saved PSG, but Liverpool game is far bigger right now. Pretty much where I feel, Dragon Mate. Never said that before. That's where I feel. Individual brilliance saved them. Great finish for their goal. And then Messi, something out of nothing, basically. Just a world-class finish from the greatest player of all time, in my personal opinion. But the Liverpool game is absolutely huge. I think it was notable for me, guys, that I felt that the players that changed were probably the ones that are going to do the pressing at the weekend. Foden is definitely going to play against Liverpool and press his arse off. So is Gabriel Jesus. Those ones are the one there. And I know it's frustrating because you want to win every single game, but that's what it is. I've seen people already going into Sterling, of course, big time. And do you know what? Sterling isn't in good form. I am not going to sit here and pretend Sterling isn't in good form. He isn't. I don't think he was shocking tonight or anything like that. He's had worse games recently. I don't think he wasted any big chances. The header was okay. A half scuff shot on his weaker foot, maybe. But if anyone's asking why Sterling started tonight, I don't understand how people can't understand that. Like, that's the one thing I don't get. Because Guardiola is clearly trying to keep his squad fresh and fit and so on. And also Guardiola understands that what if Jesus and Foden and everyone gets injured, he has to keep the squad happy. He has to keep a senior player happy. And he has to keep people fresh. That is why Sterling started tonight. Because Guardiola will hopefully be thinking that he could find a way to get Sterling back in form. It could be useful. And I guess Sterling starts tonight simply because he probably isn't going to start at the weekend. It's as simple as that. We can't expect Foden and Jesus to play every single game, given how hard they work from the front to press. That is why Sterling starts tonight, because he's the first rotation for those players who are currently starting ahead of him. You don't have to like Sterling, you don't have to rate Sterling, you don't have to think he's a good player or whatever, but the point is, it's not even about that. He's a squad player for us right now, and that's literally all he is, but that is clearly why Sterling started tonight. And I think he was actually okay tonight. It wasn't that bad. It genuinely wasn't that bad. He wasn't that bad tonight at all. He really wasn't. I don't think anyone was that bad for what it's worth. I don't think anyone was. Omar Kashid, Omar, you legend. You are on my wall of fame, by the way, Omar. I've updated it and I forgot to update it for a while. I apologise. I'm blaming wedding and house stuff. But you're there next to D Blanchard. These people, by the way, are my members. These are absolutely awesome. Like Omar. Omar said, we go again next time. Good game, though. Yeah, exactly. That's simple, mate. We go again. Good game. Umar Mohammed's moaning about the ref as well in the chat. And do you know what, mate? I've got to agree. I thought the referee was poor, man. I thought the referee was poor. We should have had a penalty, for my opinion. But maybe De Bruyne could have been sent off. There's two ways to look at that. So there was a lot of very silly free kicks. Silly free kicks not given or given against us, which was very, very, very annoying. But either way, tonight was a weird game of football. I actually think largely the players' attitude was pretty good. I think they all worked really hard, but there's a few moments where I felt like you could tell this was after the Chelsea game because the press wasn't quite as intense. The energy, the desire was there. You could see physically that they wanted to achieve something, but it's like they were like just a little bit tired and they couldn't quite get the zip. It's like when you want to do well, but you're just not quite as sharp as you always are. That's what it felt like for me tonight, and that sometimes just pretty much is the case, unfortunately. Eric Morales, big love for the super chat, says still he didn't play bad, but I think he's just bad luck. Also, you're almost at 60k subs. Maybe right now he is bad luck, and I think there is a case of Sterling needing potentially a fresh start somewhere else, which he's probably going to get. So all those people who don't like Sterling, you can probably stop your moaning, is what I'm going to say. But either way, right now he's definitely not in his best form, and he definitely isn't loving life, and I think that's pretty much a fair thing to say. You right over there, Nicola? Yeah, making sure she's right. I heard a loud noise then. But thank you so much, Eric. You're an absolute legend. Amar with the super chat as well, saying I was really impressed by our play until it came to putting the ball in the back of the net. We dominated them, they were just clinical, and we weren't. I think that's pretty much a fair summation as well, in my personal opinion. We were all over them in terms of control, but we weren't clinical in front of goal, which is often a City game, a typical City game when we're a bit tired or whatever. By the way, I am not concerned. We didn't go into this game with 100%. We didn't go into this game tonight with our strongest team. We wanted to win, but we didn't go into it fully fresh, and we did go into it with a few changes. To me, that stuff matters, man. And ultimately, it won't matter in the grand scheme of things. PSG, fair play, good goal, man. Quality goal. I actually agree, by the way, that Sterling isn't a centre forward. He isn't. Put him as a winger and let's see if he can find some form. If not, don't bother playing through the middle. What I say, by the way, is Rodri was really good tonight. I thought Rodri genuinely was really, really impressive. I thought he was composed, strong. He's clearly coming in form. I want to bring up these stats over here now, by the way. I'm going to go over to here. Oops, the wrong page. Where is it? There we go. These are the stats here. Let me change the highlights. There we go. So they're the stats from tonight. I mean, this to me isn't PSG dominating us at all. This is Man City with 54% possession, 18 shots to their 6, 7 on target to their 3, and of course we lost 2-0. It is one of those things. Unfortunately, this can be that kind of night. I'm not saying we absolutely battered them. We didn't absolutely batter them, but overall, statistically, I think the stats show that City were essentially the team controlling the game in terms of the general mood of the game, but they were were more clinical in front of goal. They probably do have the best finisher of all time in their team. And Idrissa Gueye finished like bloody Suarez or someone like that. It was a ridiculous finish. It was a very Manchester City performance when things aren't quite going our way kind of performance tonight, where we have the chances but we can't finish the goals. It isn't new information. We know we need to score a goal, unfortunately. We need to find a striker, sorry. Hopefully we will find a striker. Hopefully we will eventually. I mean, it's not going to be this season, unfortunately, but we know. Even tonight, I think KDB does look a little bit tired, if I'm being totally honest. I can't really deny that. But at the same time, as Oliver's just pointed out in the chat, KDB created multiple big chances tonight. He really did. He created big chances and was involved in an awful lot. And I don't really think he's fully fit yet either. KDB looks like a guy who is definitely feeling a little bit of tiredness still, or his body's struggling a little bit. But overall, it was a night. It was very much the hangover after the night before. We played pretty well, all intents and purposes there, but you could tell we were still very much post-Chelsea ahead of Liverpool, if that makes sense. I mean, put it this way, I don't fully care about tonight, and I do care, but I don't fully care. I'm not upset about it. I'm not overly concerned about it. I'm not going to kick off or complain or anything like that, because I can take it. I can take tonight. It is one of those games, man. It is one of those games where you kind of wish we'd done better and so on, but I am not overly concerned, man. I'm not concerned at all. Just life, man. Sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some, and tonight was one where we lost some, unfortunately. Thing is, the way I see it is, if you're not fully 100%, I don't think City were, you can lose a game against PSG, you can lose a game against Chelsea or Liverpool or one of the best teams in the world, which they actually are. Someone said I could take it, Torres was missing. Do you know what? It's interesting, because Torres is... I think Guardiola rates Torres' finishing, but doesn't rate his overall contribution fully. Vivek Eternal, I have no idea, mate. No one's ever asked me that before, mate. But either way, I presume Google, being an American company, would also like auto-exchange it. But I don't know, mate. I don't know, unfortunately. I don't know the answer to your question. But yeah, I think Torres is in a situation where he needs to be more involved for Guardiola. Trust him to be just goals, if that makes sense. Whether that's fair or not, I don't really know. He's definitely better in front of goal, but that's where we're at. Patrick Plays, thank you for the super chat. Thanks for the logic and stats on to Liverpool. Pretty much how it is. Look, I don't always... I always try and be as logical as I can. I don't want to ever be a happy clapper. I'll tell you when we play badly, but we didn't play badly tonight. We weren't clinical in front of goal, but we didn't play badly. There was nothing for me to be concerned about, and I think the stats showed that. And I think the effort showed it, to be honest. But the thing is, what we've got to remember about PSG is their whole season is literally built around the Champions League. They can stroll through a game in Liga knowing that they won't have to do anything with us. They don't have to do anything in that league other than just prepare for this game. They can literally put all their energy into it, and that's it. And we can't do that. We have to play teams like Southampton, who will run the shit against us. Like, Southampton would be challenging PSG for the title in the French league, in my personal opinion. Honestly, they would be, because they are so much more refined because of the quality that they play week in, week out. They are sharpened, where PSG can put everything against us. Yeah, as Oliver's pointed out as well, we didn't lose to Sheriff like Real Madrid tonight. A Moldovan team Real Madrid lost tonight, which is true, genuine pain. Do I know how long Delap's injured for? I don't, unfortunately. I saw him get injured the other day playing through the EDS, and no one said anything yet, unfortunately. But unfortunately, Delap's injured again, so we have to be patient, unfortunately, man. I don't know what's wrong with him, but he's just recently got another injury. So he's had, unfortunately, a bit of bad luck there. But tonight, yeah, look, the way I feel about it, if we didn't have... If this was the same lineup against Chelsea without the Chelsea tiredness, I think we win tonight. I genuinely believe we win tonight. I don't think it's even a question. I saw some people giving Grealish a little bit of stick in the comments. What I will say is, don't spam your comments, which Idris is, and I'll put you in a timeout if you keep carry on spamming. But what I will say is, do you remember Bernardo's first season? Do you remember Sané's first season? Do you remember how difficult it was for them to really get into the team? Do you remember Mahrez's first season? Mahrez, he said as well that he struggled to get into the team. Pretty much all our wingers struggle to kind of to adapt to Manchester City straight away. It's very, 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 very hard to adapt to a new system, especially a Guardiola system. So Grealish, to me, this season's a grace period. It really is. You've got to bear in mind, he actually already had a couple of good players. He doesn't set his... You got to bear in mind, he doesn't set his price. 100 million or not. Look at Messi's first goal for PSG tonight, by the way. Messi's first goal for PSG, the greatest player of all time. The point I'm making is everyone, doesn't matter how good you are, you could be the CEO, you could be fucking, I don't know, Jeff Bezos, the richest man in the world. But if he went to a new company, he still has to learn their procedures. He still has to learn how to play. It doesn't matter where you go. You have to learn a new style. You have to learn a new way of playing, man. We'll have to learn. We'll have to learn, basically. So Grealish, I thought he was okay. He was all right tonight. But Grealish, you're not going to see the best of Grealish until he's adapted to Manchester City style. He's going from Aston Villa to Manchester City. They are worlds apart in expectation and playing style. So Grealish, don't worry about Grealish. Don't worry about Grealish. He's quality. He's been signed for several years, not for 2 months or whatever it is. He'll be absolutely fine. And to be honest, Grealish was kicked to bits and got nothing from the ref as well. I agree with Jack Combrook in the comments. I think in general, it was a little bit unfair on Grealish. He was honestly kicked to pieces. But he was what he was. But you got to bear in mind as well, Grealish has never played at this level before. You know? But, you know, it is what it is. Either way, maybe he's not worth £100 million, but who fucking is worth £100 million? Hardly anyone is. The point is, could he be a £100 million player one day? I believe it. And also, there's the English tax, and I think he'll be a fantastic player for Manchester City. Stop worrying about Grealish. If Grealish has, like, genuine stinkers, fair enough. But if he does all right and doesn't quite... Grealish should have gone a level above, though. What do you mean? Should have? Like, you do realise he's played like how many games for Man City? Let's have a look at the stats, Jack Grealish. Should have gone a level above. I don't understand what you mean by that. You're acting like as if he's been here for months. I think he's played like 7 or 8 games for Man City. 7 or 8 games. So just give him time. Give him time. It's as simple as that. Let him find his feet. Let Bernardo had to find his feet for a few months. So did Grealish. So did Mahrez. So did Sane. That is how it works. Not everyone comes in, and I think he's been fine. Like, he acted like he's been poor. He hasn't been poor. He hasn't been poor at all. It is what it is. But either way, everyone moaning about Grealish is absolutely missing the point. Absolutely. And no reasonable person would write Grealish off right now. No reasonable person. They just wouldn't. And I maintain that. If you're writing Grealish off right now, you're being reactionary and you're being unfair. I genuinely believe that to be true. I'm not trying to be controversial. I feel like that's how it is. That's literally how it is. You got to bear in mind as well, it's still literally the start of the season, man. It's still the start of the season. A frustrating night tonight, but by no means a bad night. It isn't a bad night, man. Yeah, I love people keep saying we lost against Southampton. We didn't lose, we drew. Everyone keeps forgetting that for what it's worth. But that's when you know people have lost their heads if you're saying we lost against Southampton. Because actually, no, we didn't. He's being too emotional. Grealish is a good player. Just give him time. Give him time. I thought Rodri was really good tonight. I agree with Thomas, by the way. I thought he was flawless. Absolutely flawless. I'm English, obviously. Yes, I am English. Do you know what? I defend every Manchester City player if I think they deserve defending. Do you know what? I defended Diaz when we signed him. I defended Rodri, and look how well he's playing now. I defended absolutely every single one of these players. I will always defend Manchester City players because they've got where they are, and if they're working and they're trying hard, I trust their quality. So it's nothing to do with Jack Grealish being English. I couldn't give a shit about Jack Grealish in that sense. I don't give a shit about England. I really don't. What I do care is about Manchester City players and whether they deserve our defence or not. And as far as I'm concerned, like, it's like going to a new job. It's going to a new job. Give him time to learn the system. Eden, I agree, mate. Eden, we didn't play bad at all. We didn't play bad at all, you know. I'll go back over to these stats once again. But, I mean, I think this pretty much tells the story, Eden. You know, there's the stats. We controlled the game largely. Couldn't finish our chances. They could. But I don't think we played bad at all, mate. I agree entirely, Eden. You're absolutely spot on, mate. It's just one of those nights, unfortunately. I think we were a bit tired post-Chelsea, a little bit leggy, but that's how it goes down. The referee was crap, by the way. I agree massively. But it is what it is. Ashley Collins, thank you very much. See you on, by the way. Ashley saying we need to start a conversation about KDB. He's playing within himself because of a lack of a striker. No, it's not. The way to improve is to build us around KDB. It's nothing to do with lack of striker, actually. I think that's a massive leap, mate. I appreciate the super chat, but I think KDB's playing within himself because he's still fearing his injury. And KDB's been injured a lot recently. I still feel like he's got that look of someone who doesn't fully trust his body yet, who doesn't feel fully fit yet. I don't think he's not playing like. I don't even understand that, if I'm being honest, mate. Like, why would he play lesser because we haven't got a striker? I don't really get the point you're making. To me, he's just clearly not fit yet. Clearly not fit. I mean, I guess the idea is they're trying to play him to fitness. He looks nervous to me, by the way. This is a guy, according to his own words, De Bruyne, who's suffering nerve damage, has got a lack of feeling in his face because Rudiger absolutely smashed his face with his elbow. He's got genuine nerve damage in his face. That will 100% affect you, man. It'll affect your confidence. It will do. So the only way you get past that is either the pain goes, it comes back in the feeling of his face, or he just gets used to it. So, like, this is a weird analogy, but I got tinnitus a few years back. I got tinnitus, which is a ringing in the ears. And I was scared around loud noises for a while because I was worried it was going to get worse. And I got used to it eventually. But the point is, if you have a slight injury, even if it's in your face or your foot, you do hold back a little bit, man. You do hold back a little bit. So KDB to me right now is just, he's not comfortable. He's not comfortable. But still, once again, he still created the best chance on the pitch tonight. He did massively. So he was still absolutely quality going forward. Eden, I agree. Thank you for the super chat. Forgot to say as well, always love the content. Oh, you're great, mate. Thank you so much, mate. I really appreciate you. Eric Morales saying, I've been impressed with Grealish. Even today, he didn't play bad. I don't think some people are watching all the games. I've got to agree. I think he's had a good start. He's had some decent games. I thought he was really involved in Chelsea. Even if he didn't score, I thought his work rate and his overall involvement was genuinely really, really good. He was fine. He was fine. But the problem is with the internet, you're either terrible or you're great. Where most performances, 99% of performances, are just in the middle. Fine. They're just fine. Not bad. Not great. Grealish tonight, to me, he was fine. That's it. But most of our players tonight were just fine as well. And you got to bear in mind as well, Grealish just probably ran his life off in the most competitive game of football he's ever played in his life against Chelsea. Grealish, I guarantee you, has never played in a game of football with that much quality before with the Chelsea game. That 100% would have tired Grealish. He fucking worked his arse off. So there's a guarantee that Grealish is a little bit tired after that because he's not used to that, man. He actually isn't. But either way, I agree with Eric. We've got to keep our calm on this and not worry too much. Frustrating, but this is one of those nights, man. I agree, Tony. So, guys, I'm going to get ready for the fan view live. Now, thank you so much for watching this. Please do hit that subscribe button. Tonight was a frustrating night, but life does go on. I'm at 58,140. I need 1,860 subscribers to get us to 60k. It'd be massively appreciated if we get there. If you are a member or you're a patron at any level, I've already put a link on patreon.com/Esteemed Kompany or the community tab if you go to youtube.com/Esteemed Kompany, and you can find the link on the StreamYard link to join there for the fan view live. I would love to see you there. It'd be absolutely appreciated. I will catch you all very, very soon on the fan view live and get your thoughts, and I'll see you in a bit. So we lost tonight, but life goes on. Chelsea was great. Fingers crossed Liverpool is a little bit better. Tonight was frustrating, but I still think we were decent. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. It'll be all right. We'll be all right. In a bit, guys.